BNF people have a liaison, and every liaison has a BNF person, is that right? All good? Shake your head. All good? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good evening. Each member of the Senate Budget and Finance Committee has spent time studying all of the student activity portfolios, or the SAP budgets. At the conclusion of this process, it is the goal of the committee to present to the SGA Senate a fair allocation of the student activity fees to each SAP. I would like to thank each committee member, SAP, and advisor for their hard work and cooperation during the last few months. Tonight's hearing will be conducted in accordance with the Budget and Finance hearing policy and procedure. So now I'm going to go over the rules of order. The following rules of order shall be adhered at all times at the discretion of the Budget and Finance Chair. When recognized to speak, the person with the floor should stand, say their name and title, speak, and sit when finished. Discussion on any given line item shall be limited to 15 minutes, at which time the chair shall table discussion on the current line item and proceed with the hearing. If needed, the chair has the authority to remove any participant or member of the audience from the hearing room. At this time, we shall begin with each student activity portfolio presenting for their organization so that we can all learn a little more about what tonight's student activity fee allocation are going forward. Will Lead or Leadership Auburn, the SAP, please come forward and share your presentation with us. Please remember that each SAP is allowed 3 minutes to present. Here you go, JC.
Okay. Hey y'all, my name is JC Cochran. I'm the Vice President of Administrations for Lead Auburn. Lead Auburn is a student-led leadership organization here on campus. We work on cultivating and developing leadership skills in students, and we also work on a lot of community building. Last year we had about 1,000 students that interacted with our various elements and facets of our organization. You can go to the next one. So the main elements that kind of impact Auburn students are going to be our events, our programs, and our experiential learning trips. Our events and experiential learning trips are kind of like either experience or excursion-based leadership experiences for students. They get to go to different locations and learn about leadership. And then our programs really holds the bulk of our organization. It encompasses our Certified Student Leadership Program, which is a 16-week program where students get to go through various meetings and learn about different leadership topics. And then our last element is our promotions. This element does not directly impact Auburn students. However, it's a big change for us this year. If you didn't know, we were formerly known as Emerge. So we've completely rebranded and started from the bottom up. And that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, JC. All right, next we have service programs.
Hey, good evening, y'all. My name is Jackson Wells. I'm the Vice President of Finance for the Beat Bama Food Drive, and I am the BNF service rep for service organizations here at Auburn University. Our mission statement is simple. It's to provide students the ability to develop and explore their leadership skills while serving our campus, community, state, and beyond through a variety of different programs. I could sit up here and tell you huge numbers that we've gotten from different events and different campuses, committees we've had throughout the years, but at our core, service programs is not about numbers and data. At our core, oh no, just that same slide, sorry. At our core, service programs are not about numbers and data. We're about people. People who believe in fighting for a better Auburn every day. I'm here to tell you about my story with service programs and how it has changed me into the person I am today. Okay. I was a scared freshman, someone desperate to find a place at Auburn, somewhere to feel loved, secured, and valued. I did not find that, but service found me. Sorry, the slide's not up. From working at the food bank in the early morning, meeting new friends at shared service sites, and dancing until my feet hurt at main event, I have spent 3 amazing years with these programs, and I would not trade a second of it for the world. I did work, hard work. I learned the importance of honesty and truthfulness, and not surprisingly, I found the value of the human touch. I'm a better Auburn man today because of Impact, the Beat Bama Food Drive, and Auburn's Dance Marathon, and so are thousands of other Auburn students. Service programs operate on outreach, education, and difference-making. They cannot exist in a vacuum. They must market themselves, host events, and improve internally to achieve their goals of creating a spirit that is not afraid. I look forward to seeing the continued growth and positive change in our community and what service programs can do for our community and thousands of other students in the future. Thank you.
Let's pause for a minute.
Okay, next up is UPC. He's getting to work.
Just give us a second, we'll see if we can get it back up. I think it may be this room issue, not a computer issue.
What if users are logged into that desktop right there?
Just take how long you want.
Okay. Perfect. This is UPC.
Hey y'all, my name is Courtney Robertson and I'm serving as the Vice President of Finance for UPC this year. I have served on UPC for 3 years, twice on the executive board, so I'm just really honored to be here representing our budget today. So if you don't know, University Program Council is Auburn's student-led organization, so we're led by students, for students, programming organization, sorry. But we provide all the fun free events that you see on campus, from movie nights to spring fair to concerts, all of those things. And here's our mission statement, which is just provide inclusive and engaging programs and foster community and a positive campus culture. These are the 6 committees that operate under UPC. Each committee has a director, an assistant director, and a full committee that work to create and execute events underneath their domains. There's a lot of numbers here, but what I really want you to focus on are these numbers in orange, which is our increase in attendance from this previous year. And we expect to see that for years to come. That's reflected in our budget. And that little rating up there comes directly from AU Involved, people who fill out surveys from our events. As you can see, we're pretty happy with the 4.6, but we're going to try to make every event a 5 out of 5 for students this year. Lastly, this is a little bit of our why we do what we do, testimonials straight from those surveys as well. You can read some of these. This is just really the core of UPC. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Next, BSU. All right, next up is BSU.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matthew Wade, and I have the pleasure to serve as the Vice President of Admin and Finance for the Black Student Union. To go over a little bit about the overview about Black Student Union, I'm going to hand it off to my Director of Finance, Noah.
Good afternoon. My name is Noah McAfee, the Director of Finance for BSU. So the mission of BSU is to represent the interests and concerns of Black students on campus. We aim to combine all aspects of Black student life on campus by hosting GAs and annual events. We want to make a community for all students on campus, not just Black students. And for me personally, through the freshman committee, it made me feel more involved and connected to Auburn as a whole.
All right. Just like what Noah said, one of our main things that we do every Monday is our General Assembly. This is just where we kind of give all of our general body, our cabinet members, all together in one room, and we just kind of go over different Black topics, Black culture moments, and just kind of have fun. And this is just kind of where a lot of the bonding and the experience that goes into BSU is made. And then this also ties into some of our events that we are hosting throughout the year. Some of our bigger events are jazz and poetry, which is pretty much what we like to call our Black prom. It's pretty much an event where we have everyone get dressed up in very nice wear, formal wear, and we have DJs, food. It's just a big time overall. And then we also have Fresh Start Frenzy, Silent Disco. These are some of our events that we have throughout each semester. And then for Breakfast for You, this is just a good welcoming event for to start off the year for every semester. And then lastly, our Black History Month concert, where we partner with different organizations to bring on different artists to perform for the general body. Well, lastly, this is our service that we commit throughout the year. Some of these pictures are from our last year when we partnered with Our House and I Am My Brother's Keeper. With that, we partner with mentoring and also just tutoring. And these are some of it from last year. Overall, BSU helps the student experience by making it a smaller environment. Personally, my freshman year, I did not know very many people coming to Auburn. So when I signed up for freshman committee, it was a way to make this big campus smaller, and I met some of my favorite people from it.
Thank you. ISO. Hey, next up is ISO.
If you don't mind, may I push the button? Because it just... Excuse me. Hello, everyone. My name is Ian Yang, and I am the Vice President of the International Student Organization, as known as the ISO. So I'd like to start by the bit of share who we are and what we are do in the campus. So, although we are called the International Student Organization, but we proudly serve both the international and domestic students. After all, United States is an important part of the world, and our mission is to bring people from all backgrounds together. At ISO, we believe that fostering understanding and appreciation for different culture enrich the campus experiences for everyone. Our organization is driven by a mission we sum up in this word: improve, ease, and promote. We aim to improve intercultural understanding, ease the transition for international students adjusting to life in new country, and last but at least, promote a global perspective among all Auburn students. Throughout the year, we host a variety of events designed to achieve these goals. Some of our major events include Social Hour, where students can casually meet and learn from one another. The World Fair, which showcases the diverse cultures represented on our campus, and the Peace Dinner, a special event that celebrates unity and shared humanity. We also focus on the well-being of our members by organizing Mental Health Day and promoting physical activity throughout our soccer tournament. One of the key points I'd like to emphasize is that all of our events are open to everyone on campus, regardless of their background. We believe in belonging and encourage all students to participate. So, if you've come to today's budget hearing and haven't yet attended our event, I'd love to see you at our upcoming event. As we continue to grow, we are committed to expanding our reach and exploring new opportunities to learn about different cultures and countries. The enthusiasm and curiosity of our members drive us to cover the wider array of cultural topics and events, and we are excited to what the future holds for our organization. Thank you for time to hear, and we look forward to working with all of you, making Auburn a more global-minded community. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you so much. Next up is SGA.
Hey y'all, I'm Will Goodner. I am SGA's treasurer this year, and this is my presentation. So the mission statement of the SGA is serving and promoting the individual student and unifying all that is Auburn, and through our line items, that is what we aim to do. So our first thing is Aubie. Aubie falls under one of our line items. He's It's the best mascot in the SEC, 11 national championship winner, and he broke a record for most appearances this year. Next is elections. Elections is another thing that falls under SGA. Through our line item, we believe that it is extremely important to maintain the sanctity and the legitimacy of our elections. We also have the highest voter turnout in the SEC, and that's one of our important line items. Next is Hay Day. Hay Day has been a tradition since 1947. It falls under SGA. And it's a tradition, if you don't know, where all the World War II veterans were coming back to Auburn, and we were trying to welcome them back. And it's one of our most important things, and we believe it makes Auburn Auburn. Next is Forum. Forum is sort of something that's seen as a pathway to involvement by some, which we believe it's very important to allow those students to continue to be in that and host events as well. Continue, Carter. Next is Auburn Answers. So Auburn Answers are a feedback platform, and it is also another one of the groundbreaking things that we've done. All the other SEC universities followed after we made that, so we believe it's important to keep that. And then there is Up All Night. Up All Night falls under outreach, and it's in finals week when we allow students to come and get donuts and orange juice, and we think that's one of the things that just makes Auburn feel like a family, and it's important to us. Some pictures from it. And then, yeah, that's our whole SGA. That's a picture from last year. That's the whole team, and we want to keep it that way. But here's some fast facts about SGA for y'all to read if y'all like to. But thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, next up is student media.
All right, I'm Adrian Rushing. I'm representing student media. So student media is actually comprised of 4 different groups. We have Weagle, The Circle, which is our literary arts magazine. Weagle's our radio station. And we have The Glomerata, which is our yearbook. And then we have Eagle Eye TV, which is our local TV station, which is actually live streaming this right now. So our mission between organizations varies a little bit. But across all of student media, our mission is to share the Auburn story in a professional manner while creating invaluable career experience for students. And really, the primary function of all 4 of these organizations is to serve as a learning lab for students, especially in the CLA, but also in a variety of majors. I'm a software engineering major, but I've gotten great leadership experience and experience like this. So here are some fast facts about student media. All of student media is growing pretty rapidly and in a good way. So last year, GLOM distributed 8,500 copies in 2 days. So I've actually been in our advisor's office, Britt, whenever he's getting those emails from students about not getting a yearbook. So a lot of parents will email or call in to get a yearbook. So they're increasing that this year from 8,500 to 9,000. And so yes, last year's GLOM is actually a finalist for the CMA Pinnacle Yearbook of the Year Award, which is a pretty big deal. We also have the Auburn Circle. They distributed 4,000 magazines last year. So they distribute twice. They distribute once in the fall and once in the spring. So a little less in the fall than they do in the spring, but 4,000 magazines total last year. And so they're also a finalist this year for the Pinnacle Literary Magazine of the Year. And then Weagle, I believe our listening hours are up 63% from the year prior, so up from whatever that is to 83,000. And then they also won one Intercollegiate Broadcasting System Award and was a finalist for 6 awards. Eagle Eye, kind of the same thing. They were nominated for several awards, and I know they went to a conference in New York last year, which is also a great experience for their anchors and their producers. And they were named as a finalist for Best College TV Station for the same Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Awards. And then our membership, we have across all 4 organizations, there's some overlap there, but we do have about 320 students. So that is student media. Thank you.
Thanks, great job. And then last up, I believe it was student organizations. Yep.
All right, hey you guys, I'm Cole Wheeler. I'm a board member for Organizations Board. What Organizations Board is, we're a group of 7 students that oversee the status of student organizations. I like to say O-Board has 2 things. The first thing we do is we work with organizations to get them provisional status and then eventually permanent status. We oversee RSOs and SSOs. We're often their main point of contact and their biggest advocate. We talk to them, we help them get through processes, we answer their questions and things like that. So we do all of those things for them. The second thing that we do is we allocate money through the O Fund. You can go to the next slide. So what we do with the O Fund, organizations can request money for operating, programming, and traveling expenses. We have about $150,000 allocated into the O Fund, and so we will hear students, we work on a reimbursement system, so we'll hear what students spent, and we will decide whether or not we're able to give them that money based on the rules that we're founded on. Another thing that we do, we're also organizations pretty much their only source of funding. A lot of the funding they get from us is probably the only funding they'll get from Auburn University. They may get money from dues and things like that, but we're their only source of funding that they get from Auburn University. So that's another thing that we do for student organizations. Some of our fast facts, we have about 60 new organizations created this year. 125 of those organizations participated in O-Days and O-Weeks, so a lot of organizations out on the concourse tabling. 54 student organizations received funding, and then $102,926.07, and counting, because that doesn't include last week or this week's O-Board meetings, were allocated to RSOs and SSOs. So like I said, that money is oftentimes the only money that they'll get from Auburn, so we really appreciate SGA and Budget and Finance giving us that money, so we're able to give that to student organizations. And they're such an important part of Auburn's experience, and they make the Auburn experience possible for so many students, so we just really love supporting them. And that's it. Thank y'all.
Awesome. Great job. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Great job. Hard part's over. This Budget and Finance final budget hearing is now called to order. The first order of business is to state the amount of student activity fee money available for allocation tonight. That number is $2,513,038, or in $38. I'm sorry. The total amount of money being requested by the student activity portfolio is $2,891,844.23. This means that we are short by $378,806.23, which will need to be cut from the overall budget request in order to have a balanced budget. The next order of business is to decide how much money to set aside from the Reserve Fund and Program Expansion Fund, the PEF, for the sake of providing SAPs with opportunities for growth and flexibility throughout the year. As a reminder, the Reserve Fund is used for one-time requests, while the Program Expansion Fund is used to increase existing line items or create new line items that your organization hopes to add into your budget for annual usage. Since we do not have a surplus that can be used for the Reserve Fund and the Program Expansion Fund this year, the Budget and Finance Committee has decided to set aside an additional $50,000 that will be used for PEFs and RFRs this year. Since we are short by $378,806.28, plus the $50,000 we are setting aside for PEFs and RFRs, a total of $428,805.23 will need to be cut from the overall budget request in order to have a balanced budget. We will now proceed with the cuts process. So first, we will begin with friendly cuts. SAPs, until you are no longer willing, will take turns offering cuts to themselves. You may offer more than one cut during each turn. When you are no longer willing to make friendly cuts, you shall say pass when it's your turn. To make friendly cuts, the SAP representative will have their BNF senator share a line item name, the current amount requested in that line item, the amount of the proposed cut, and the line item balance if the proposed cut is approved. The senator will stand, say their name and title, and following parliamentary procedure, we will make a motion to cut the requested amount from the SAP's budget. The motion need to be made and properly seconded, and then discussion can occur. Once discussion is ended, the committee will move to a vote. This process continues until either the overall BNF budget is balanced or until no SAP is willing to make any more friendly cuts. I know that was super confusing, but once we get into it, it'll be so much easier. Are there any SAPs willing to offer friendly cuts, and is anyone willing to go first?
So give us just a second to transition, because what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that everybody can see. I need an adapter. Everybody can see the cut sheet along the way. And what y'all will need to do is be really slow and clear and loud enough that we can hear the things that you're saying you need to cut. And so, as Carter shared, what you should hopefully have in front of you is your budget request. And what you're gonna need to tell us is which line item, what's the name of it, how much money was originally requested in it, and then how much money you're willing to cut. And then once that has all been shared and we've got it all in the system, what the Budget and Finance Senators are gonna do is they're going to vote pass or fail, yay or nay, and we're gonna put a P or a F in column H over there, and we're gonna see hopefully that number in column A start to get smaller and smaller as we make our way through. So we'll make a couple mistakes in the beginning, that's okay, we'll get into a good rhythm, but the most important thing is just to go slowly and clearly so that as they're putting it in, they can hear you and make sure they've got the right information. So kind of keep an eye on whether they're on track with you or whether you need to slow down as you're sharing some of those things.
You're good. And you can just say it in that order, kind of that's up there, the SAP, the line item, sub-line item, currently in line item, and then kind of how much you want to cut. Okay.
Switch back to using this in
Okay.
case we need to use my computer for cuts.
Do I need, do they need this? The microphone? Just want to be loud?
No, since you're kind of announcing
Okay.
what's going on.
Gotcha.
So we'll hear it through.
Start does anybody want to go first? Okay, y'all go ahead. Stand up a little.
Burgess
Yep.
Engineering, I move to cut from UPC, line item special events, sub-line item farmer's market.
Slow down, Olivia.
Oh, sorry. The original cost is $20,000 and they're cutting $20,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
All right, so passed. Who's next?
Let's just go in order.
Let's just go to y'all first, so that's, there you go.
Hale Business, lead, line item, experiential learning trips. It's the same thing for sub-line item, experiential learning trips. Or, yeah, the whole thing is cutting the whole thing,
How much is it?
which is $10,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Troutman, Forestry, Wildlife, and Environment. I motion to cut from service, line item general, sub-line item promotion. The starting amount is $3,000. The amount to cut is $3,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA. Line item, student media. Line item, live events, and then we're cutting the whole thing, so just live events again.
How much?
It is $4,000.
Is there a specific group on that, or is it general?
It's just general.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Barton, SGA, and I moved to cut from line item external affairs. We cut 6,500.
What's the total amount in it?
Total amount 6,500, so cut the entire thing.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
And there was no sub-line item?
Jaden, or Connor Cousin. BSU would like to cut from line item community service, and then subline general partnerships. The initial is 2,500, and they would like to cut 2,000 from that.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Oh, sorry, Janet, go ahead.
Sorry, we're gonna cut only 500 to make it 2,000. Sorry.
Gotcha. Okay, is there a second? Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Okay, so moved. Let's see. Janet, it'll go to ISO.
Connor Kosam, ISO would like to pass.
Okay. We'll go back to Colin and then to your second one.
Did we start here?
We started here, yes.
Hale Business, student orders like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, I moved to cut the following special events line item, subline item, homecoming dance. There's currently $36,200 in the line item, and I moved to cut $14,200.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Six.
Troutman, Forestry Wildlife Environment. Service, line item, impact, subline item, breakaway conference. Starting amount is $4,000, the cutting amount is $4,000.
Luke, you slow down.
There you go. We'll worry about spelling later.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, certainly would like to pass.
Hale Business Lead, line item programs, subline item team funds. The total is 4,000. I'd like to cut 4,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Hardin SGA, line item Miss Auburn. Subline item is Empower Her Dinner, and we would like to reduce it from $10,000 to $7,500.
That would help, wouldn't it?
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Troutman, Forestry Wildlife Environment. Service, line item, impact, subline item, breakaway membership. 400. Cut amount is 400.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Connor Kosam, BSU would like to cut from community service, general partnerships, and they would like to cut from 2,000 to 500. So they'd
Cut
like
500 from-
1,500.
Cut 500. There you go. Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Go ahead.
Connor Kosam, ISO would like to cut from RSO, SSO partnership event. And then the sub-line item is event supplies. And they want to reduce it from 10,000 to 8,000, so cut 2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Go ahead.
Horton, SGA, line item, athletic programming. Subline item is wristbands, and we'd like to cut the entire thing, it's $2,800.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved. Here, go ahead.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item, interactive events, sub-line item, Night in Paris, I move from the
Here you go,
original.
Olivia, we'll get you in just one sec. Give us 1 second.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Just start over. Go ahead.
Yeah. Line item, interactive events.
UPC.
It's UPC,
you go.
sorry. Sub-line item, Night in Paris. The original amount is 15,000, and I move to cut for 15,000.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Troutman, forestry, wildlife, environment. Service. Line item, BBFD. Subline item, farmer's market. Starting amount's $4,000. Cut amount's $4,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, media, line item, EY, subline item, equipment, starting is $23,000. We want to cut $2,000 from that. And then also for the first one under media, is line item live events. Can that be changed to, legal?
Just the line item
Yeah,
name?
just line item,
Okay.
because they're all.
Okay, for the first one that you said, the 2,000, is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved. Go ahead.
Horton, SGA, line item, freshman forum, subline item, meetings and projects, and we want to cut from 3,500 to 2,500, so $1,000.
You mind sharing those amounts again?
3,500 to 2,500, so $1,000.
Is there a second? Is there,
Well, actually, we want to cut it 2,500. We want to reduce it to $1,000.
is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Connor Kosam, BSU and I, so I'd like to pass.
Okay.
Hale, business, lead, and student orders want to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, SAP, UPC, line item pop-ups, sub-line item, blind date with the book. The original cost was 3,000, I moved to cut 3,000.
Sorry, say the amounts again.
3,000, and I moved to cut 3,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, student media would like to pass.
Troutman, forestry, wildlife, environment. Service. Line item, AUDM. Subline item, staff retreat. $2,000. Motion to cut $2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Horton, SGA, from line would like to cut the entire addition, or cabinet administration, which is $1,500. Cut the entire budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Connor Kosam. ISO would like to cut from office supplies and equipment, and then office supplies sub-line item.
Is equipment the subline item?
The line item is office supplies and equipment, and then the sub-line item is just the office supplies. And then the current is 600, and then we would like to cut 200.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So passed.
Troutman, Portugal Environment Service. Impact. Subline item, Anita Soil withdrawal. Starting about $3,000. Motion cut $3,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So passed.
Connor Kosam. BSU would like to cut from office supplies, line item. And the sub-line item is supplies. And the initial is $750, and we'd like to cut 200.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Carton, SGA. Line item, academic programs, sub-line item, final lecture. The amount in budget is 200, and proposed cut is $200.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item, holidays and traditions, sub-line, holidays and traditions, sub-line item, stress awareness. Original cost $10,000, and I moved to cut 10,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Carton, SGA. Line item is SGA leadership training. Amount in budget is $1,300, and we would like to, no sub-line item, by the way. And we'd like to propose cut 1,300.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Let's start going back in a circle. So we'll just start with UPC, and if you don't have anything, just say pass, okay?
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item, pop-ups. Sub-line item, field data. Original cost $3,000, and I moved to cut $3,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Yep, go ahead.
Again, under UPC, under the line item pop-ups, sub-line item slumber party. The original cost was $1,500, and I moved to cut $1,500.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. And go ahead, Colin.
Hale, business, first, student, orgs, like to pass lead. Would like to, under the line item, promotion, sub-line item, tabling supplies, would like to cut, or 3,000 is the initial amount, and would like to cut 3,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Aye. So moved. Okay, now let's go to you, Luke.
Troutman, forestry, wildlife, environment, service, line item impact, subline item international trip. The starting amount's $26,000. Motion to cut $11,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Go ahead. Wait.
Connor, COSAM, ISO, and BSU would like to pass.
Y'all, I'm going to interject here and add one in as well. Even though it's not orgs, we're going to just label it orgs for right now. So for those that aren't aware, there's an involvement administrative budget that funds a lot of office-wide things that normally hasn't really been a part of this same process, but just given the situation that we're in, we definitely need to consider that this year as well, and thank you to the BNF senators for helping think through that. And so we'll go ahead and toss a couple things on here. First one being the involvement fair. For those that, since we didn't do a presentation for some of these earlier, for those that don't know, we did have 3,008 students come figure out how to get involved. The involvement fair on the campus green recently, and if done well, is a really expensive event. But let's start out by proposing 20,000 cut to that.
Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Aye. So moved.
I'm also going to put on here sometimes our office gets hit with some fees for people that don't use rooms the right way, but let's just all do a really great job of that this year and not feel like we have to budget for it. So I'm going to propose we cut 1,000 from that.
Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Aye. So moved.
One more for right now. Another piece of context, so student activity fees funds all of our staff and all of the professional development and things that our staff expect to receive like any other department on campus, but it's just funded differently. I think we can figure out a different way to fund some of our staff training days.
Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Aye. So moved. Okay.
Others have some.
You have something, Jonathan? Go ahead.
Oregon SGA, line item, Better Relations Day, subline item, travel/supplies. Initial budget is 4,100, and we want to reduce 4,100.
Is it 4,100?
Oh, wait, we want to reduce 2,100. My apologies.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Aye. So moved. Go ahead.
Connor, COSAM, ISO would like to cut from the line item promotional items and printed materials. And the subline item is the same thing. And the initial is 6,000. They'd like to cut 2,000 from that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Go ahead.
service. Line item BBFD. The Hunger Liquid, starting amounts $2,000. Motion to cut $2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Connor Kosam, BSU would like to cut from the line item leadership development. And then the sub-line item is executive officer training. The initial is $6,000, and they would like to cut $2,000 from it.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Go ahead.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item executive. Sub-line item game room operating cost. The original cost is $25,000. I moved to cut $25,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion?
Can we pause for just a second on that? Do we not have a contract with the Student Center where we're required to do that?
I believe it's on a year-to-year basis.
I think that's something that the Student Center would expect us to continue to help fund if we haven't had conversations about no longer funding it. So if we can maybe save that one for a later conversation, that may be most appropriate.
All right, let's keep going. Go ahead.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item executive, sub-line item concoursing items. The original cost is $1,000. I moved to cut $1,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Now let's go back up. Caroline, let's go to you. If you don't have anything, just pass.
Cole CLA video would like to pass.
Okay. Jonathan, let's go back up to you.
Martin, SGA, line item, communications and marketing. Subline item, campus media engagement. Initial amount is $5,000. We'd like to cut $1,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Let's go over to you, Jenner. Go ahead.
Connor Kosam, BSU would like to cut from the line item leadership development. The sub-line item uniforms and name tags. The initial is $3,500, and I'd like to cut $500 from it.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Connor Kosam, ISO would like to cut from RSO SSO partnership event, sub-line item event supplies. And the initial is $8,000, and I'd like to cut $2,000 from it.
Is there a second?
Is that one that we cut from earlier?
Yes. Did I just say the initial of like the overall thing, or?
So we're just cutting more from it? Okay. What did you cut from it initially?
It's $2,000.
Okay.
Just confirming that it is 8,000. Okay. And how much?
$2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
I'm going to add a few more in here. Student involvement, marketing, materials. Again, these are things that kind of promote all of us. It's just the office-wide communications and marketing things that we do. So we're going to try to cut 5,000 from that right now.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
We're also going to SI marketing, photography, videography. So some of you may have seen on social media recently a fun video for First 56 and Convocation, all that. So sometimes we have to contract some third parties to help make some of those types of videos. So that's what this line item is. And we'll, for right now, take 4,000 off that.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved. Go ahead.
Connor Kosam. The issue would like to cut from the line item leadership development, executive officer training for the sub-line item, and it's to be taken down from 4,000 to 2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Troutman Service would like to pass.
Hale Business, lead and student organizations would like to pass.
To you.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line items, special events, some line item Magnolia Ball. The original cost is 51,000. I moved to cut 5,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
I'm going to add in another one. Cutting 5,000 from our purchasing of cameras and videography. If we need those, we'll request them as one-time things then.
Perfect. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Keep going.
Yep, go ahead if you have anything. Okay.
Horton SGA, move to cut from additional to is communication and marketing. Subline item is initiatives promo, cut, starting budget is 500, cut 100.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved. Okay.
Connor Kosam, BSU, and ISO would like to pass.
Okay. Back down to you, Luke.
Troutman Service would like to pass.
Okay, Colin?
Hale Business, student orgs, and lead would like to pass.
Okay.
I got one.
Just wait 1 second, Olivia.
So this is, so our staff have allowances like other department staff have to go on professional development opportunities for themselves. And so what I'm cutting here is my opportunities to do that and some of the additional professional development opportunities that we try to provide for our staff, but not the bare minimum of what they're expected to be able to have.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved. Go ahead, Olivia.
Burgess Engineering, UPC. Under holidays and traditions, subline item, cultural heritage event. The original cost is 14,000. I moved to cut 14,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Okay, let's continue the circle. If you don't have anything, just pass.
I'm gonna do one more here. This is where all the executive officers in April of all of your organizations get together for our kind of half-day training. And it funds the meals and supplies for that event. But maybe we can get catering to be extra nice to us.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Go ahead, Olivia. Do you have anything? Okay. Who was up? Did y'all pass? Okay. Jonathan, y'all have anything?
Oregon SGA, line item, communications and marketing, subline item, Senate promotions. Initial amount is proposed to cut $1,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Cool. Go ahead.
Connor, Kosam, BSU, and ISO would like to pass.
Okay.
Troutman, Service.
Service.
Line item, BVFD. Subline item, B Auburn, B100 Foundation. Initial amount's $4,000. Motion to cut $2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Hale Business, lead and oversee orgs like to pass.
Got one more. Office supplies. This is what funds things that are in the tech bank, like walkie-talkies and whiteboard markers and all that kind of stuff for our general office use.
Is there a second on this proposition? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Burgess Engineering, UPC. Line item marketing. Sub-line item promotional items. Original cost is $12,000. I move to cut $2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Go ahead, Caroline. No?
Cole, CLA, media passes.
Okay. You're up.
Parton, SGA, line item, Senate, subline item, docu-free. Cut 35, initial amount's 3,500, cut 3,500.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Sub 2.
Sub 2. Not enough people are smiling. Everybody smile. Look at some sad faces out there. Okay, who's up? Go ahead, Jada.
Connor Kosam from ISO. We would like to cut the RSO SSO partnership event with a supply item of event supplies, and like to cut the remaining 2,000 or 6,000. Sorry. So 6,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Connor Kosam from ISO. We would like to cut from the uniform/organizational apparel with the supply item member t-shirts/sweatshirts. The initial is $5,700, and we like to cut
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Wait, Luke, she might. Are you good, Jada? Okay, go ahead, Luke.
Troutman Forestry Wildlife Environment Service. Line item, AUDM. Subline item, on-campus promotion. Starting amount's $5,000. Motion to cut 2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Pale business, lead. Line item programs. Subline item Clifton Strengths. Original is 6,000. I'd like to cut 3,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. UPC, go ahead.
Burgess Engineering, UBC line item executive. Subline item NACA conferences. Original cost 25,000. I moved to cut 13,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Another cut for UPC.
Go ahead.
Line item holidays and traditions. Subline item Valentine's Day event. Original cost 2,000. I moved to cut 2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Another one for UPC. Line item films. Some line item food and beverage. Original cost $22,500. I moved to cut $2,500.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Caroline, back up to you.
Cole, CLA, medium, left pass.
Okay.
Martin, SGA, line item, athletic programs, subline item, city labels. Initial amount is $350, we did the cut $350.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Okay, back around to you, Jada. Go ahead.
We have to fix a correction for ISO, for the RSO SOS partnership event. Instead of that, we would like to do the SAO partnership event.
So let's.
Which one is it, Jada?
Let's vote on whether, so,
Change the
on the
RSO.
6,000 decision. So let's, BNF committee, if we can vote whether to pass or fail that desire to fail this one instead, and then we can start a new one.
Is that what you're gonna do? You gonna go to a vote, Jada, for that one, and then go to a vote on a new one? Okay. Is there a second on this proposition?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass,
To fail
to
this original.
fail the original cut, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, and then what's the new cut?
The new one is to move ISO the SAO partnership event with the subline item event supplies. And the initial is 2,000, and we'd like to cut the full 2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
And Connor Kosam, for GSU, they would like to cut with the NPHC collaboration, and then the Tiger Stop. And then the initial is 28,500, and they would like to cut 2,000 from it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Subline item on-campus promotion. Initial amount was $8,000. We'd like to motion to cut $4,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Go ahead.
Hale Business, student orgs and lead would like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item films, sub-line item event supplies. Original cost is $11,500. I move to cut $1,500.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Another one for UPC, line item live entertainment, sub-line item spring game show. Original cost $5,000. I move to cut $5,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Caroline, go ahead.
Cole, CLA, student media would like to pass.
Okay. Jonathan, you're up.
Harden, SGA would like to pass.
Okay. Jada?
ISO and BSU would like to pass.
Okay. Luke?
Troutman, Forestry, Wildlife, Environment, Service. Line item BB&FD. Subline item First 56, signature event. The initial budget is $35,000. Motion to cut $7,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Colin?
Hale Business, student orgs and lead would like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item marketing, sub-line item event-specific t-shirts. Original cost $8,000. I move to cut $2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Another one for UPC, line item marketing, sub-line item outsourced printing. Original $3,000. I move to cut $1,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, student media would like to pass.
Harden, SGA, line item initiatives, subline item campus safety. Initial budget is $250. We'd like to cut $250.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Connor Kosian, BSU would like to cut from community service. And then with the subline item of MLK Day of Service. The initial is $2,000 and we'd like to cut $500 from it.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
And Connor Kosian, ISO would like to pass.
Okay.
Troutman, Service would like to pass.
Hale Business, lead would like to cut from programs. Subline item Clifton Strengths. We've already cut from this, but that amount now is $3,000. And we'd like to cut the rest of that, which is $3,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. What, call them student orgs?
Oh, sorry. Hale Business, student orgs like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item holidays and traditions, subline item, Earth Day extravaganza. Original amount 26,000. I move to cut 4,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Another one for UPC. Line item holidays and traditions. Subline item Mardi Gras on the Plains. Original cost 9,500. I move to cut the whole budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Back to you.
Cole, CLA, Student Media would like to pass.
Okay. Back to you.
Orin, SGA would like to pass.
Okay.
I'm gonna put another one in here.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, Jada, you're up.
Connor Kofan, BSU would like to cut from NPHC collaboration, the subline item of Tiger Song. And the initial is 26,500, and they like to cut 2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
And Connor Kofan, ISO would like to cut from office supplies and equipment. And then the subline item is going to be office supplies, and the initial is 400, they like to cut 400 from it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any, go ahead, sorry.
So they like to cut 200 from it.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Go ahead, Luke.
Troutman Forestry and Wildlife Service. Line item AUBM, subline item Leadership Conference. The initial budget is $6,000. Motion cut 2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Hale Business Lead would like to pass. The student orgs, their line item, marketing and office supplies. There's no subline item, but their initial is 1,500, and they would like to cut $250.
Okay, is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Back to you.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item interactive events, subline item painting on the plains. Original 7,000, I move to cut 7,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Another one for UPC, line item interactive events. Subline item murder mystery. Original 12,000, I move to cut 12,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, Student Media would like to pass.
Orin, SGA would like to pass.
Connor Kofan, BSU and ISO would like to pass.
Okay.
Troutman Service would pass.
Hale Business Student orgs and Lead would like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item pop-ups, sub-line item video games opening tournament. Original cost 1,500, I move to cut 1,500.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Another one for UPC, subline item pop-ups. Subline item stuff a plush. Original cost 2,750. I move to cut 2,750.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Okay, go ahead.
Cole, CLA, Student Media, would like to pass.
Horton, SGA would like to pass.
Connor, Kazan, BSU would like to cut from the NPHC collaboration of the subline item of Tiger Song. The initial is 24,500, and they would like to cut 2,000 from.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
And then, Connor, Kazan, ISO would like to cut from, uniforms, / organizational apparel, with the subline item of member t-shirts and sweatshirts. I don't remember off the top of my head what the initial was, because we cut from it.
Okay.
It was 4,700. And then we'd like to cut 1,000 from it.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Travel and Service would like to pass.
Hale Business, Student Orgs. Line item, Student Organization Trainings. There's no subline item, but the original is $10,000. I'd like to cut $2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Colin, is the other one to pass? You're good?
Hale Business, Lead would like to pass.
Okay. Back to you.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item live entertainment, subline item Wardam Coffee Jam. Original cost 24,000. I move to cut 3,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, Student Media, would like to pass.
Okay.
Horton, SGA would like to pass.
Connor, Kazan, BSU, and ISO would like to pass.
Travel and Service would like to pass.
Hale Business, Student Orgs, and Lead would like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item marketing, subline item, event-specific t-shirts. We originally cut from that, now it's 6,000, and we want to cut, I move to cut $2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, Student Media, would like to pass.
Horton, SGA would like to pass.
Connor, Kazan, BSU, and ISO would like to pass.
Travel and Service would like to pass.
Colin, you're up.
Hale Business, Student Orgs. Line item, O-Board Administrative Costs. The original is $1,500. They would like to cut $250.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. All good?
Sorry.
Here you
Hale
go.
Business Lead would like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC. Line item pop-up events. Subline item Minecraft build battle. The original cost is 400. I moved to cut 400.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So passed. Go ahead.
Cole, CLA, student media would like to pass.
Horton, SGA would like to pass.
Connor, Cosam, BSU, and ISO like to pass.
Okay.
Troutman, College of Forestry, Wildlife, and Environment, Service. Line item impact. Subline item appointment. Parents, $2,500. Motion to cut $1,500.
1,500?
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Hale Business, student orgs, and lead would like to pass.
Burgess Engineering, UPC. Line item live entertainment. Subline item spring open mic night. Original cost 1,500. I moved to cut 1,500.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, student media would like to pass.
Hortons, SGA would like to pass.
Connor, Cosam, BSU, and ISO like to pass.
Troutman, Forestry, Wildlife, and Environment, Service. Line item EBFD. Subline item Stag Retreat. The initials $4,000. Motion to cut $2,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Hale Business, student orgs. Line item student organization trainings. We've already cut from this, but it is 8,000 now. And they would like to cut 4,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
And lead would like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC. Line item pop-ups. Subline item paint night. Original cost is $1,350. I moved to cut $1,350.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, student media would like to pass.
Okay.
Horton, SGA. Line item freshman forum. Subline item forum retreat. Initial amount is $350. We moved to cut $350.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Connor, Cosam, BSU, and ISO like to pass.
Okay.
Troutman, Forestry, Wildlife, and Environment, Service. Line item AUDM. Subline item Child Health Day. The initials $2,500. Motion to cut 1,000.
How much?
1,000?
Motion to cut 1,000.
1,000. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Hale Business, student orgs, and lead would like to pass.
Okay.
Burgess Engineering, UPC. Line item executive. Subline item end of year banquet. original cost 4,000, I moved to cut 1,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, student media, like to pass.
Horton, SGA would like to pass.
Connor, Custom, BSU, and ISO like to pass.
Okay.
Travel and service would like to pass. Hill business, student orders, and lead would like to pass.
Burgess Engineering, UPC would like to pass.
All right. So we've done great so far. So we've only got 75 grand left to pass or to get our budget balanced. What I want to kind of do right now is take like a 5 to 7 minute break, if everybody's good with that. And I would really like your SAO people to go talk to their staff members and vice versa, and to talk with your BNF committee members, and then we'll meet back in just a couple minutes.
Hold on just a second, y'all. So when we come back, we'll open it up one last time for any friendly cuts that people want to add on. And if not, then the Student Senate Budget and Finance Senators will start to propose how we get the rest of the way. So use this time to explore if there's anything else that you do want to try to cut, but you don't have to. So thank y'all. Charlotte.
I'll start out with some cuts. Okay. Okay. We're back, and Brad had some cuts from the administrative budget.
So senators, we can just vote on these as a batch if you guys are good with it. So these are additional things from the involvement administrative budget. Miss AU pageant, a little bit more from the involvement fair, the involvement ambassadors, and this past August, we were hoping to have the Coke fan cam. I don't know if y'all have ever gotten to participate in that, but it's basically where they come and they take this really fancy picture from the field, and you can find yourself in it and tag yourself in it and share it. And maybe we can still try to pursue that a year from now if funding becomes available, but anyways, that's what that is. So I'll let y'all kind of vote on all of these individually or as a whole batch, either way.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do it as a whole, or as a whole? Okay. Is there a second on all these propositions? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass these cuts say aye. So passed. Okay, now we'll go back in a circle because we're still in friendly cuts and we're starting with UPC.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item marketing, subline item event-specific t-shirts. There was originally 4,000, I moved to cut 4,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Go ahead.
Cole, CLA, student media, like to pass.
Horton, SGA, line item, executive council, subline item, supplies. The initial amount is $800, move to cut $800.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Connor, Cosam, the issue would like to cut from paint night, with the sub-line item of supplies. The initial, is 900, and they would like to cut 300 from it.
Okay, is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. Okay.
And Connor, Cosam, ISO would like to pass.
Okay, Luke.
Travel and service would like to pass. Hill business, lead would like to take from line item events, sorry. Subline item etiquette dinner. It's originally $6,000. They'd like to cut that $3,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. All good?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Olivia.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item live events. Sub item Warden Coffee Jam. Original cost 21,000. I moved to cut 3,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Live entertainment.
Caroline, go ahead.
Cole, CLA, student media, like to pass.
Okay.
Martin, SGA, line item outreach, subline item town halls. Initial amount is $200. I moved to cut $200.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. Ada?
Connor, Kosam, ISO would like to cut from uniforms / organizational apparel with the subline item of member t-shirts and sweatshirts with the initial of 3,700 and cut 1,000 from it.
Okay, is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
And then Connor, Kosam, BSU would like to pass.
Okay.
Travel and service would like to pass.
Hale Business, student orders and lead like to pass.
Burgess Engineering, UPC, line item executive. Sub line item interview banquet. Original cost 3,000. I moved to cut 1,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Cole, CLA, student media like to pass.
Okay.
Martin, SGA, line item Senate. Subline item meeting expenses, initial amount is.
So that, what's the subline?
Meeting expenses. Initial amount is $1,000. I moved to cut 1,000. Oh, initial amount is 2,000. I moved to cut 1,000. My apologies.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
Connor, Kosam, BSU would like to cut from paint night, food and beverage for the subline item, and they would like to cut 100.
Okay, is there,
And the initial is 400.
you gonna cut 100 from that 400? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
And then Connor, Kosam, BSU would like to cut from paint night supplies. The initial is 600, and they would like to cut 200 from it.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved.
And then Connor, Kosam, ISO would like to cut from leadership training with a subline item of leadership development with the initial of 2,800, and they would like to cut 800 from it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut say aye. So moved. We're good? Go ahead, Luke.
Travel and service would like to pass.
Hale Business, student orders and lead like to pass.
Burgess Engineering, UPC would like to pass.
Okay, go ahead.
Cole, CLA, student media would like to pass.
Martin, SGA would like to pass.
Okay.
Connor, Connor, Kosam, ISO would like to cut from mental health day. With the no subline item, and the initial is 1,200, and I like to cut the full amount.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Troutman, Forestry Wildlife Environment Service. Line item impact. Subline item international trip. Initials $15,000. Motion to cut $2,000.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor to pass this cut, say aye. So moved.
Failed business, student orgs and lead would like to pass.
Burgess Engineering, UBC would like to pass.
Cole, CLA, student media would like to pass.
Okay.
Horton, SGA would like to pass.
Okay.
Connor, COSAM, BSU, and ISO would like to pass.
Okay.
Troutman Service would like to pass.
Okay.
You can if you need to.
Okay, let's take a 3-minute break, okay? I know nobody has any passes. Everybody's all passed right now, right? Is that right? Everybody shake your head. Okay, perfect. So let's take another 3-minute break and we will talk and we'll be back in 3 minutes, okay? All my BNF people come up here.